acting fast.
President Buhari writes National Assembly, declines assent to Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021.
The federal government does everything to make sure that only safe and efficacious vaccines are brought into Nigeria.
COVID-19 booster. President Buhari takes a shot. Federal government deploys 74 medical workers to Guinea-Bissau to boost health care. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Henry John. Michael Olaleye joins me from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. A $73 million intervention fund for irrigation has been set up by the federal government towards boosting sugar production across the country as part of the backward integration program. Already, an all-encompassing presidential intervention project on irrigation infrastructure has been inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari towards achieving the objectives. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Records show that out of the nearly 165 countries producing sugar in the world, none in sub-Saharan Africa is enlisted amongst the first 10 sugar producers. Similarly, in Africa, the continent's largest economy, Nigeria, could not make the first 10 sugar-producing countries despite its enormous potentials, a situation the Buhari presidency described as unacceptable. This presidential intervention project, inaugurated on behalf of the president, is to, amongst others, support the development of irrigation infrastructure on 10,000 hectares of sugar plantations in Numan, Adamawa State, Sunti, Niger State, Lafiaji and Bashita in Kwara State, as well as Toto and Tunga in Nasarawa State.
The aim is to increase significantly and improve the country's performance in cane yields so that we can work within the National Sugar Development Plan, Sugar Master Plan, with a view to Nigeria becoming self-sufficient in the provision of sugar and possibly also become a net exporter of sugar, thus saving the country a large bill that it presently incurs in foreign exchange for importation of sugar.
And our own aim is to create this conducive environment that will attract more investment, that in shortest period, we will reach our self-sufficiency in sugar production. We believe that Nigeria is in strategic position, going from what we've started doing from today, that we can satisfy these 11 million metric ton shortage that we have in Africa.
The Central Bank of Nigeria is involved in the provision of the required funding for the project as part of the National Sugar Master Plan, and Governor Abdullahi Sule, Chairman, Sugar Producing States in Nigeria, is a critical stakeholder.
Sugarcane is best produced when you can irrigate. That is the reason why this irrigation process is very, very important. And like the Honorable Minister mentioned, for us in Nasarawa, we are extremely excited about this because it's an opportunity, to create employment, to create the value chain. This is good for Nigeria and is indeed good for Nasarawa State. And it's an opportunity for Nigeria to save FX. Today, we are spending not less than $700 million in the importation of sugar.
Some major operators of the backward integration program describe the move to enhance sugar production in Nigeria as appropriate and timely.
We're really, really excited. This is an important opportunity for all the players in the industry and also for Nigeria. I don't think there's ever been any, intervention in the agricultural infrastructure for up to 10,000, hectares at one single time.
So this is very, very important for Nigeria for development of sugar industry. And as has been said, that this is a green industry. It doesn't create any kind of pollution. As the whole world is now going for the green fuel, so sugar industry is green in all its respect.
During the event, several agreements were signed by the stakeholders to fast-track the development of the various sugar plantations in the country towards producing sugar, ethanol, and power. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And on health, President Muhammadu Buhari has formally taken the booster shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. This is to further demonstrate leadership in the renewed drive towards controlling and containing the global health challenge. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The booster dose of the COVID-19 vaccine was administered on President Muhammadu Buhari by his chief personal physician, Dr. Suhaib Sanusi Rafindadi. Though devoid of any formal ceremony, this could best be described as a symbolic confirmation of the safety and efficacy of the vaccine. It was also a demonstration of faith in the vaccination exercise. President Muhammadu Buhari's e-vaccination card was thereafter presented to him by the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuhaib.
And what we're seeing from the data is that COVID-19 is now mostly a disease of the unvaccinated. Out of every 10 people that have died, the data shows that 8 of them are unvaccinated. So there's a greater likelihood of dying from COVID-19 if you're unvaccinated. What Mr. President has done today is again to indicate to all Nigerians that the federal government does everything to make sure that only safe and efficacious vaccines are brought into Nigeria, and that when they are brought into Nigeria, we'll double check to make sure that it fits the very high standards that have been set by NAFDAC. So when you go to any health facility, when you go to any mass vaccination site, one thing that should be clear in your mind is that this vaccine that is going into your body is safe and is going to protect you against severe forms of COVID-19. It will also protect you from dying from COVID-19. That is the assurance that we're giving Nigerians.
Meanwhile, one after the other, personal aides to the Nigerian leader took turns to be vaccinated, also for the third time, in line with the COVID-19 safety advisory by the World Health Organization.
So please stop hesitating, stop having any doubts. It is a question of integrity for us that we do the right thing, and we are showing through leadership from Mr. President, the governors, the legislators that have come out openly to take these vaccines, that these vaccines are exactly what we need to be able to protect our health and then begin to build back our economy. To get the booster shot, all you need to do is go to your to the nearest health facility or any vaccination center with your vaccination card, and you will get the booster shots. We're making the vaccines available all across the country, so you don't have to go too far from where you live or from where you work. When you get your booster shot, you actually get better protection against the Omicron variant.
Records show that over 8 million Nigerians have now been vaccinated against COVID-19. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And still in the State House, Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai of Kaduna State has formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the recent attack by bandits in parts of the state, resulting in the death of nearly 40 villagers. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also granted audience to Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State.
Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, who was accompanied to the State House by the State Commissioner for Internal Security, Samuel Arwan, gave detailed briefing to the president on the attacks on 5 villages in Giwa local government area recently. He said 40 villagers were killed by the bandits, who also burnt down houses and agricultural produce in the unfortunate incident described as one of the worst in the state.
There has been some improvement in Kaduna State, but this incident was quite a shock to us. And in my view, it is because the operations are being carried out piecemeal in states. So when they are attacked in one state, they move to another. The president was saddened by these attacks and promised to continue to support the Kaduna State government in every way to bring an end to these challenges. He'll be holding a meeting with the security chiefs in the next few days to further articulate a holistic strategy to address the insecurity in the Northwest in particular.
The governor also briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the state's infrastructural development drive and formally invited him to personally inaugurate those already completed.
And we're really looking forward to him coming and to make him proud. People have asked us, where did you get the money to do these projects? We've been prudent. We've been saving our money. We've not been wasting our money on recurrent expenditure. We also negotiate very good prices with contractors, and we don't expect contractors to give us any kickbacks or whatever. So we do get good prices from them.
President Muhammadu Buhari also granted audience to the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. The governor appreciated the president for his efforts at stemming the tide of insecurity in the country and dealing with the nation's economic challenges.
I came to see the president in my capacity as the chairman of the Nigerian Governors and to express, as I said, gratitude for his approval of the bridge finance, and is also to let him know some of the steps we are taking in our various states to also fundamentally address this lack of revenue, because we have a challenge in this country and tokenistic support will not do. The truth of the matter is the country is not as buoyant as most people think it is. And one of our suggestions to Mr. President is clearly that we need to create the enabling environment that would give those who can provide such support for the country the confidence to want to invest in the future of Nigeria.
The meetings are in furtherance of President Buhari's strategic engagement with a broad spectrum of Nigerians towards addressing critical national issues. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is committed to sustaining production of relevant statistical information needed for effective tracking and monitoring of sustainable development goals in Nigeria. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this during the launch of the baseline report and realignment of the National Statistical System with Sustainable Development Goals 2020. State House correspondent Gideon Ifade reports.
It is the official launch of the baseline report and realignment of the National Statistical System with Sustainable Development Goals 2020 here at the banquet hall of the State House. To Nigeria and the rest of the African countries, the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals is crucial to the task of ending hunger, poverty and disease, as well as safeguarding the environment and creating jobs. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says these goals are also central to the vision of the Buhari administration, which is committed to lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within a 10-year period through social investment plans.
There's no question that the Nigeria SDGs implementation plan 2020 to 2030 offers a coherent pathway for achieving the expected outcomes in the next decade. One of the areas of marked improvement in this document that we're presenting is the increased range of reporting from the 126 indicators recorded in the 2016 baseline report to the 141 indicators in the current 2020 report.
The report, as explained by the Bureau of Statistics, provides an update of the data contained in the baseline report 2016 for monitoring and evaluating the progress being achieved in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria and the ongoing realignment process of the Nigerian statistical system with the Sustainable Development Goals.
With this launch, we'll be able to track our progress on the SDGs more accurately on an annual basis. Our approach ensures that the SDGs are central to our national development efforts and are indeed policy priorities for the foreseeable future. Clearly, all of these policy and planning documents bear the imprint of the SDGs as overarching national priorities.
This event will mark yet another landmark in the strive towards sustained development in Nigeria.
Confirming Nigerian commitment on behalf of Mr. President to the successful implementation and even acceleration of SDGs in Nigeria.
The office is also giving out these 19 ambulances to support and strengthen healthcare system at the sub-national level. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo inaugurated the ambulances to cap the event. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Time for our first break. Please stay.
Sharing brings with the Airtel family plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Everybody knows the secret to good cooking is that special ingredient. The mothers know it, but does this new generation know it? Let's find out. Mothers, daughters, are you ready? Yeah! Let the cooking begin.
Erisco tomato paste. Now we get home, now we get love, now we get children. We spice the world with a meal so great and so healthy. You know we've got with Erisco, Nijico.
Ladies and gentlemen, food is ready.
Food of love.
Erisco Rigico and Nagico tomato paste is made by Erisco Foods Limited, feeding Africans with healthy foods.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, for and on behalf of the Governing Board, Management and staff of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, cordially invites stakeholders in the identity management sector to a one-day interactive workshop on the National Identification Number, NIN, tokenization solution. The workshop is in preparation for the commencement of the takeoff of the NIN tokenization from 1st January 2022 and showcases the processes, usage, and benefits of NIN tokenization solution recently launched by President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, towards building common ground on identity verification and authentication for stronger data privacy and compliance with data protection principles and best practices. Date, Wednesday, 22nd December 2021. Venue, Executive Hall, International Conference Center, Garki, Abuja. Time, 11 a.m. prompt. Engineer Aliu A. Aziz, Director General, Chief Executive Officer, Announcer.
Dear friend, as 2021 ends, we share your gratitude for its blessings. We acknowledge your low moments too and wish you strength to carry through. At Bedmate, we'll keep making your living better because we believe that furniture is not just an item made of wood, glass, marble, or steel, but a symbol of your unity and good times with your loved ones. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year full of all the finest things you desire.
The FCT administration hereby advises the general public, particularly owners of abandoned or uncompleted buildings within the Federal Capital City, that such structures have become a source of security breach in the city and therefore of great concern to the government. These abandoned or uncompleted buildings have become shelter for unintended occupants as well as other persons with criminal disposition. This announcement therefore serves as a final warning to those concerned to either complete them or have such titles revoked, as the 435 affected title holders have since been served with notices. The FCT administration wishes to solicit for the maximum cooperation of the affected allottees towards timely completion of these buildings. Please check Daily Trust, This Day, and Abuja Digest newspapers of Wednesday, 22nd December 2021 for full details. Management, Announcer.
We have come to the end of another successful year. We wish to appreciate all those who mean so much to us. Our clients, the 3 tiers of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties. You are esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2021 great. Together, we shall make 2022 greater. Thank you. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from all of us at NTA.
for staying. President Muhammadu Buhari has withheld assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021, stating that assenting to it in its present form will be counterproductive. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that this is contained in his letter to both chambers of the National Assembly.
On the 18th of November 2021, the National Assembly transmitted the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to the Executive for presidential assent. Nigerians and especially politicians had waited in bated breath for the President's response. In the President's letter to the Senate and House of Representatives, he cited high cost of conducting direct primaries, security challenge of monitoring the elections, violation of citizens' rights and marginalization of small political parties as major consequences if signed into law.
The conduct of direct primaries across the 8,809 wards across the length and breadth of the country will lead to a significant spike in the cost of conducting primary elections by parties, as well as increase in the cost of monitoring such elections by INEC.
In addition to increased costs identified above, conducting and monitoring primary elections across 8,809 wards will pose huge security challenges, as the security agencies will also be overstretched.
Senate confirmed the nomination of Muazu Sambo from Taraba State for appointment as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The experience I have gathered over the 35 years in infrastructure, I believe, would assist in adding value to Mr. President's cabinet.
Looking at his CV, you will know he had gone through the middle age of management, which is where knowledge is acquired.
And I want to appreciate Mr. President for acting fast to give us a voice in the Federal Executive Council.
Will the Senate approve the nomination of Muazu Sambo from Taraba State as a Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan announced the establishment of a new committee on host communities on oil and gas with Senator Bio Barakuma Degeremiowo as chairman. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Governors Forum has formally reacted to the decision by President Muhammadu Buhari to withhold assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, saying the Nigerian leader needs to be commended for standing with the people. The chairman of the forum and governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, who spoke to newsmen after audience with the president, insists that for the state governors, it does not matter whether primary elections are held through direct or indirect mode.
What is governors' interest and concern is that opportunities are given for an inclusive process. And I think that is what Mr. President's letter has brought out. Mr. President has not objected to direct primaries. Neither has he endorsed indirect primaries. He has only said, be fair to all. Let all options apply. And what you decide should be determined by your own local and peculiar circumstances, being mindful of questions of security, finances, and democracy, internal democracy. So I think all should commend the courage of Mr. President to stand with the people. And the President, just like me, is not afraid of whatever mode you decide to use. When I chaired the primaries, the historic primaries that brought him in as a presidential candidate, I was the chair of that primary in 2014. It was an indirect primaries. But in 2019, when he was coming back, he came back via a direct primary. So Mr. President has also tasted both. And I don't think it's somebody to be lectured about the pros and cons of either processes. What is important is to ensure that whatever process you choose in your particular circumstance still provides a process that is as free a manner as possible. That is not completely free process, but at least there is something that is called substantial compliance in electoral law. And if it meets substantial compliance, I think all of us should be happy with that.
Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum there with me now in the studio to discuss issues on the reasons the President withheld assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill is the SSA to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Ita Enang. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, the President's communication gave elaborate explanation on reasons for withholding assent, one of which is the cost implication on parties and INEC. What really is the true picture, looking at the number of wards in Nigeria, talking about 8,809 across the country?
Well, let me commend Mr. President for the depth, intellect, and the pain he has taken to explain all aspects and implications to the legislature and, by extension, the Nigerian public. And again, I also commend the legislature because of all the sections and amendments the legislature proposed. It is only this aspect that Mr. President has expressed reservation to, at least as at, for now, because it is only this aspect that is contained in his communication as being the reason for his withholding assent. So I commend the legislature. And I thank the Nigerian public because this has been a matter where the public has been, everybody has become a lawyer. Everybody has become an advocate one way or the other, and so the Nigerian people weren't left out. Now, Mr. President has pressed the cost of elections, the possibility of disenfranchising of excluding parties that are not too strong. And like His Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti and Chairman of the Governors Forum has restated, Mr. President's communication has not given approval or disapproval to direct or indirect primaries. He's simply saying, let it be the choice of each political party to choose how they want to conduct their primaries.
All right. Now, this is the second time the President is withholding assent. Recall it was the same story during the 8th Assembly. What, in your opinion, should be the next line of action for stakeholders?
Well, at the 8th Assembly, by providence, I was the advisor, I was the Senior Special Assistant on National Assembly. And there were so many other issues, and again, which Mr. President observed as reason for withholding assent. As at now, what the National Assembly should do is look at Mr. President's observations and then just take an action about it. The action they could take is simply perhaps go back to the original provision in the 2010 Electoral Act and restore it, or by any drafting mode, give liberty to each political party to be able to choose its mode of primaries. Remember, yesterday or some days ago, the Federal High Court in Abuja gave a decision in the case delisting APC and disqualifying Senator Andiuba as from being candidate in that election.
Exactly.
Just because they expressed to conduct direct primaries and yet did not conduct primaries. If the provision is allowed to stand as a legal situation, in a legal or legislated situation, then any political party that does not conduct direct primaries, it will be said that you did not comply with the provisions of the law. So it is better to leave the position open. Let each political party adopt the means it is under its own constitution.
All right, just before I let you go, the National Assembly, you talked about the decision of the National Assembly. They have the power of veto. Do you foresee the lawmakers using the powers granted them by the Constitution to go ahead and veto the decision of the President?
I foresee the legislature reasoning with Mr. President.
Okay.
Not because of any other reason, but because the reasons given by Mr. President are cogent, verifiable, legal, and plain. And it is practical. And almost 80% of the legislators I've interacted with have agreed with the position of Mr. President.
Right.
And they are not likely to. If they have any reservation, I think they will, on any of the aspects, they will have a conference again with Mr. President. They have direct access and they've been discussing very many matters before they take decisions, and they will not get to the position of overriding veto.
The hope of every Nigerian is that the decisions reached at the end of the day would actually strengthen our electoral process. Thank you so much.
I will pray that they should do that quickly. I mean, a little bit urgently, because under certain protocols and treaties and conventions to which Nigeria is a party, when you pass an electoral act close to an election, it is not likely to be effective because it is prohibited, because it will not allow the election management bodies to prepare well for the elections, nor allow the political parties and participants to prepare for the elections. Thank you very much.
So much, Ita Enang, for your insights.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, looking at other matters now, the House of Representatives has passed the 2022 appropriation bill of 17.126 trillion naira. Also passed as the Finance Bill 2022 to support budget implementation. National Assembly correspondent Lamiale reports that after passing the budget, the House adjourned plenary to 18th January 2022.
Rise the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 17,126,873,917,692 naira only.
At this accelerated legislative process to ensure sustenance of the January to December budget cycle, the House of Representatives at this sitting considered, approved and passed the 2022 budget estimate after the presentation of the report by the House Committee on Appropriation.
The highlights of the budget based on 2022-2024 MTEF parameters as approved by the National Assembly are as follows. Oil benchmark $62 per barrel, daily output production 1.88 million per barrel, exchange rate 410.15 by US dollars.
Out of the 17.126 trillion naira approved, 6.9 trillion naira is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, 5.4 trillion naira is for contribution to development fund, 3.8 trillion is for debt service, while 869.6 billion naira is for statutory transfer. Sectoral breakdown of the budget shows defense taking the largest amounts with an allocation of more than 996 billion naira. Police got more than 518 billion naira, while education was allotted 598 billion naira, followed by health, which got more than 462 billion. The proposal from the President as budget for 2022 submitted to the National Assembly was 16.39 trillion naira. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has written the National Assembly seeking approval for environment to fund critical expenditure and extension of implementation of the capital components of the 2020-2021 budget from December 31st, 2021 to March 31st, 2022.
This is a tradition, and it is in the best interest of our people and the interest of the policies and programs of the government of Muhammad Buhari.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And away from the Green Chambers, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has received more than 621 billion naira as extra sum for the rehabilitation of 21 federal highways. This is coming from the NNPC Road Infrastructure Task Credit Scheme. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that a tripartite MOU was signed at the Works Ministry's headquarters, Abuja.
This is a unique pen-to-paper ceremony, a seal to a memorandum of understanding between the NNPC, FIRS, and the Ministry of Works and Housing. It is expected to bankroll the fixing of 21 critical highways across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Good time. It will go directly to the coffers of the contractors handling the rehabilitation of some of Nigeria's critical highways, begging for attention.
NNPC is not taking over our roads. NNPC is not constructing roads. NNPC is just putting forward its tax liabilities to the person who is supposed to collect it, FIRS, and we are dedicating it to these roads that have been awarded, some of them over 10 years, that should have been completed, but for insufficient budgetary provisions.
We find this tax credit scheme a very important way by which we can step in to support the Federal Ministry of Works in funding this roadmap, a number of these roads. We have selected about 21 roads.
This is actually unprecedented and very necessary for us to be able to fix the roads in Nigeria.
The closure of this deal means that in the next couple of months, the selected highways for rehabilitation will be completed, and once again, putting smiles on the faces of motorists plying those highways. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NT News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed grief over the heart-wrenching murder of 45 farmers and schools injured following renewed hostilities in Lafia, Obi and Awe local government areas of Nasarawa State. In a statement, President Buhari said the sympathies of the entire nation are with the affected families, assuring the people with all seriousness and sensitivity that his administration is doing the best it can to safeguard the lives of people. The president said no stone will be left unturned in fishing out the perpetrators of this senseless and barbaric act and bring them to justice. He also expressed condolences to the government and people of the state and expressed satisfaction with the immediate response of the state government to the incident. Now time to join Michael in Lagos for more news. Michael, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ari. President Muhammadu Buhari's recent visit to Lagos has been described as a move to improve the country's capabilities to fight piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said this while reacting to insinuations that the visit was to attend a book launch.
Just a fortnight ago, President Buhari inducted the third Made in Nigeria Seaworld Defense Boat, NNS-OG, and other vital military assets onto the naval platform. Although a crucial and timely intervention aimed at ending crimes on sea. The plus here, according to the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, is that the ship and others are the largest military vessels ever produced domestically. Garba Shehu, in a statement, maintained that the feat is key to the President's commitment to ensure that Nigeria is self-reliant as a nation and determined to eliminate dependence on foreign importation of arms. The President also surveyed and inaugurated a naval helicopter that will join the new vessels in squatting for and countering piracy that impedes security and trade along the country's exclusive economic zone. This landmark achievement, Garba Shehu said, was done on the same day with the launch of an autobiography by National Leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bisi Akande. Garba Shehu maintained that the President has the right to attend the launch of an autobiography by Bisi Akande, a leader who played a crucial role in keeping democratic opposition to military rule alive when the occasion coincided with the launch of a military platform crucial to boosting the country's seaborne defense. The Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity noted that while efforts to degrade banditry is ongoing, securing the maritime domain is equally crucial, and this President Buhari demonstrated with his visits to Lagos as part of measures to strengthen the capacity of the armed forces to nip crimes and criminality in the bud. Lagos State government has raised a bond of 137.328 billion naira to finance critical projects in the state. Musa Toliat reports that the bond is the single largest to be issued by any state across the country.
The official signing of the 137.328 billion naira bond issuance paves the way for the much-needed finances to bankroll key projects in various sectors of the economy in line with the themes agenda of the Lagos State government.
Our ability to once again issue such a long tenure bond demonstrates investors' confidence in the effective delivery of our long-term developmental objectives, which we do not take for granted at all. We will continue to uphold our commitment to remain the most responsible issuer in the Nigerian capital market.
The intended subscription by Lagos State government was 125 billion naira bond, but investors' confidence in the state government jacked it up to the tune of 137.328 billion naira.
This offers a great savings to our debt service obligation in respect of about 25 billion in the medium term.
Every time we come here, we do new things, either elongating tenor, raising the first 100 billion, and now here we are raising the largest bond ever for a non-federal government issuance.
Governor Sanwo-Olu expressed confidence that the 10-year bond from 2021 to 2031 at an interest rate of 13% would save the state government of wastages. The event was attended by members of the state cabinet, representatives of the issuing houses, trustees, rating agents, stockbrokers, receiving banks, and solicitors to the state government. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports shortly after this break. Please stay.
It's the Glow Joy Unlimited Extravaganza!
This one no cool now. Shine, shine, people are dancing high. Glow is here for us.
Simply recharge up to 500 naira during the week to qualify. 5 cars every month. 100 generators, TVs, and fridges every week. Dial *611# now to enter the Glow Joy Unlimited Extravaganza.
I miss them.
Well, they should be on their way by now.
Will it feel like it used to? With everyone so busy these days.
It will be fine.
Suddenly, feels like I'm gonna fall. I can see all of my dreams so perfectly.
Oh, yeah, line up. Single file.
Love's not a dream at all. Somebody.
Grandpa, what was Grandma like?
She always found ways to bring us all together. It took me a while to discover how she does it.
Devon King's taste that brings us all together.
Capri Sun Funland. Can't wait. Hey!
Entry denied.
No artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives.
Nothing artificial.
Next up, the water slide.
Nothing artificial and great taste. Capri Sun, the taste of fun. Capri Sun, a product of Cheer Limited.
Dear friend, as 2021 ends, we share your gratitude for its blessings. We acknowledge your low moments too and wish you strength to carry through. At Bedmate, we'll keep making your living better because we believe that furniture is not just an item made of wood, glass, marble, or steel, but a symbol of your unity and good times with your loved ones. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year full of all the finest things you desire.
For those wondering why Schweppes changes look, experience tells us.
life experience.
Introducing the one gift for all this festive, GoTV Super. Enjoy more channels, more variety, more entertainment on GoTV Super. GoTV, love it.
Glad to have you back. Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikeazo says the federal government will engage all stakeholders, including the Bayelsa State government, in the investigation of the Santa Barbara oil spill in Nembe. The intention of the federal government, she says, is to achieve comprehensive and unbiased outcome in the inquiry. Onengiye Fineface brings us details.
In keeping with the promise of transparent and thorough inquiry of the circumstances that led to the Nembe spill, Minister of State Environment Sharon Ikeazo ordered the immediate joint investigation visit to the wellheads in a few days. In a meeting with the governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Dore Jiri, at Government House in Egua, the minister insisted on a credible and open investigation.
You can't have that JIV without representatives from the host community, and in that case, the host state government. Nothing should be cloaked, nothing should be covered.
It is a commitment that addresses the concerns of the state governor to see that the right steps are taken to solve the problem at hand and prevent any recurrence of oil spills in the state.
Our umpires will work glove in hand with the Bayelsa state government, and we will see a transparent process. And as you have rightly directed, that all media houses interested will be there to see it.
The major target of the joint investigation is to determine whether the spill at Santa Barbara was as a result of equipment failure or due to third-party sabotage. Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the federal government, through the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps, has deployed 74 medical workers to Guinea-Bissau to help boost the nation's healthcare system. Benny Adams reports that the deployment is in fulfillment of President Muhammadu Buhari's promise to his Guinea-Bissau counterpart earlier this year.
This is the first batch of 74 specialized health workers being deployed to Guinea-Bissau. They are 17 volunteers willing and ready to contribute to the well-being of citizens in Guinea-Bissau. Adama Samuel John is a retired pediatrician who is excited to be re-engaged to practice and serve as an ambassador of Nigeria to the world. When asked the choice of practicing outside instead of home, he has this to say.
If we are engaged in other areas, why not? We will work. But since we are not engaged, and that's why we are going out.
From inception in 1987 to date, Nigeria has deployed more than 8,000 volunteers in different fields in 35 countries of Africa and the Caribbean. But this deployment is different.
Because it's a special appeal from the government of Guinea-Bissau to Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave us the order to get these doctors ready and let them proceed to Guinea-Bissau to assist before anything escalates.
The deployment is seen as a veritable foreign policy tool to strengthen diplomatic relations with other countries and assert Nigeria's position as a continental leader. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Now time for business with Benny Adams.
Thank you, Yeri, and welcome to Business. We'll start by telling you that the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebayo, has inaugurated an inter-ministerial committee for the implementation of the joint agreement between Nigeria and Ghana. The committee, headed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Evelyn Ngige, has the mandate to resolve the lingering crisis faced by Nigerian traders in Ghana. The face-off between the two countries has led to the eviction of Nigerian traders in 2007 and the closing of more than 300 shops in 2018, in addition to an investment portfolio of $1 million to engage in any retail business in Ghana. And on the capital market, investors lost 3.21 billion naira as all-share index dipped by 0.01% to close at 42,388.57 basis points, with market capitalization at 22.1 trillion naira. 275.9 million shares valued at 3.9 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,489 deals. Market breadth closed positive as H markings led 20 gainers as against 14 losers, topped by Etana. UACN, FBNH and UBA were the most active to boost market turnover. That is business news, but network news continues after this break.
Femi Martins, just look at this. Remember the name.
The African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by Afrosport. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Me and you, let's get to Ghana. Hey! Right, jump.
This is Ghana. You've come here to seek for greener pastures. Make it your worthwhile.
Any guinea fowl is Guinea. Guinea fowl has nothing to do with Guinea. It's just the name of the fowl.
So Ghana Jollof, what is it? Is it Nigerian beans?
What? Have we made before?
No.
Jasper! Help me!
The National Broadcasting Commission says broadcasting stations owing license fees have until the 17th of February 2022 to pay their debts or have their licenses withdrawn and reallocated. In a statement, NBC says it had earlier given a deadline of 16th of December 2021 to pay up all outstanding debts. The time extension, however, followed board decision with the newly elected executives of the Broadcast Organization of Nigeria. This notice, the statement says, is in line with the NBC Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. On behalf of himself and the management of Nigerian Television Authority, the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, extends warm felicitations to the Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Sir Joseph Ari, on the occasion of his 61st birthday. Celebrating a one-time staff of the Nigerian Television Authority who also worked in the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed describes Joseph Ari as a consummate media professional who also served as Public Relations Manager of the Nigerian Insurance Corporation. The DGNT also salutes the ITF DG's commitment to duty and for bringing his expertise to bear wherever he serves. He wishes Sir Ari more years of diligence to duty to the nation as he continues to promote innovation in achieving the mandate of designing and implementing training programs of the fund. The Federal Road Safety Corps has mobilized over 30,000 operatives from all field commands and the national headquarters to commence end-of-the-year special patrol tagged Operation Zero Tolerance to Road Traffic Crashes. A statement by the Corps indicates that 15 traffic control camps have been set up, while 27 help areas and 46 ambulance points have also been established along critical roads across the country. Other operational equipment have also been put in place to complement operational and public education efforts. In addition, the Corps is also deploying technology which includes body cameras and vehicle cameras for patrol operations, surveillance and traffic monitoring, rescue operations and real-time information gathering for prompt decision-making. The death has occurred of Chief Mrs. Ngozi Onyoha Une Oha of Unkpuru in Ohafia local government of Abia State. She's aged 91. Late Chief Ngozi Onyoha was the first Secretary General, Women's Wing of the NCNC in 1950 and was instrumental to women participation in Nigerian politics. She was also appointed as a member of Eastern House of Chiefs by late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, who motivated a lot of rural women in Bende, Abia State, to participate in politics. She received numerous awards, including the Spirit Award of Detroit from the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, United States. Late Chief Ngozi Onyoha was married to Chief K.O.K. Onyoha, Secretary General of the Zikist movement. President Muhammadu Buhari has extended heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Abia State, as well as the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, on the passing of former national president, Mr. Boni Nuoha. President Buhari also commiserates with the family and friends of the veteran newsman and well-respected member of the Nigeria Guild of Editors, who was a one-time managing director, Daily Times Nigeria, Commissioner of Information, Abia State, and a special advisor, media, to the governor of Abia State, a position he held until his demise. The president notes that late Onuoha's remarkable legacies and prayers and praised God to grant the soul of the departed eternal rest. And talking about the broadcast license fees by the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, the deadline is 17th of February 2022 and not 2021 as earlier mentioned. All right, that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for your time. Please remember that the fight against rape and rapists is still on. Be a part of it. I'm Ian Ray John. Good night.